Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. Today we're going to review and play Vertigo VR. Vertigo VR is a game on the Steam store for the Valve Index, HTC Vive, and the Oculus Rift. It was released on December 22nd, 2016, and it is absolutely one of the best experiences in VR, except that it has a lot of bugs and it's not as polished as it should be. If those things were ever fixed, this would absolutely be one of the best games in VR. Despite that, this is still a very good game, and as far as full games in VR, this is one of the few that actually feels like a full game. It's a 4 to 5 hour long adventure in VR, and you're in this compound and you're not sure exactly what's going on. You have this feeling that you do need to escape and get out of there because you don't belong there, and you just have to navigate your way around all these dangers around. Now, there is combat mixed with puzzles, and to be honest with you, the combat is not the best. The gunplay here is not the best because the enemy AI is not the best enemy AI. Don't get me wrong, it's okay. I played this on normal difficulty, and for me, the enemy AI was just okay. It's not the worst enemy AI, but definitely wasn't the best. They do the thing that happens in a lot of VR games where they just seem to walk straight towards you. They don't really start to do any kind of tactics to try to get you down. This game was made by Zach, and I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm just going to call him Zach, and he was actually a 17-year-old developer when this game was released on the Steam store. Now he's working on Vertigo 2, and he's also works for Valve, so this is a very talented guy. From a game development point of view, this is an amazing game. It's hard to believe that someone so young could make a game this good, but you could also see that he's not the most experienced programmer because there are bugs and there's certain lack of polish this game needs to have. If the combat had been better, if none of the bugs existed, this would absolutely been one of the best experiences in VR, and I would rate it much higher. Right now I'm just going to rate it a 7 out of 10. But without the bugs, with a better polished experience, with better combat, better enemy AI, this could have been a 9 out of 10. It's that good. What I liked about this game is that it does feel like you're in this alien world, and just every level is just something new comes up, and you're just excited to see what comes next. And you really do feel like you're on this life and death adventure, and you're just trying to get out of this place, this crazy alien world. And you get bits and pieces of the story along the way, and you kind of figure out what's going on. But yeah, you definitely get that sense of, I have to escape, I have to get out of here. And the game design is just top notch, and really I hope a lot of developers took note of this Vertigo game when they're designing their own VR games. So I think a lot of developers could learn lots of lessons from Vertigo, especially when it comes to game design, how to make a game exciting, how to make a game fun. This game has it in spades. I just wish it had been better polished without all the bugs. So let's talk about a little bit more about the game itself. One of the bad things about this game is that you don't have any kind of turning, and the locomotion is not the best. So by default, I don't believe you have a full locomotion. However, you can turn it on in the options where you basically press grip and you'll move forward in the direction that you're facing, which is something I recommend. You cannot play this game seated. You do have to be standing, and in fact, during this particular part of the game, you actually have to be lying down on the floor, so beware of that. Like I mentioned, the combat is not the best, the enemy AI is not the best, but you do have two different guns. One is just a normal, laser pistol. The other one is a sniper rifle. And that's pretty cool because you can actually tap on it and you'll get the zoom function, and the zoom is actually pretty good. And yeah, it's nice sniping a target from far distance and getting those headshots on those robots. There's also some other types of alien enemies that are pretty cool. This game has 3 different boss fights, and it seems like you're going to have a fourth one right at the very end. Unfortunately, that fourth one doesn't happen, and it's kind of a little bit of a letdown at the end, but otherwise, the story was fantastic, and the boss fights were engaging, and they're all different. The first one that you get is probably the most difficult one, and feels like maybe you have to focus on being really quick, but actually it's just a matter of figuring out the boss, and after you figure out what you're supposed to do with that first boss fight, it becomes pretty easy. The second boss fight, I figured out right away, and so for me it wasn't a problem, but you could see the little puzzle challenge with the second boss. The third boss is probably the most straightforward one and doesn't require any kind of puzzle element to it. And I just showed a little bit of that fight. I didn't want to spoil it all the way. Definitely something that I recommend not looking up online with any of these boss fights. You definitely want to figure them out. Keep in mind, all these fights are just basically strategy over any kind of, quick shooting or quick dodging or anything like that. It took me a while to figure out that you have a tool that's not only a glow light and something you can melee enemies with, but you can actually use it as a shield as well. I thought that was pretty cool. Now, your other main tool is this teleporter tool, and so you can teleport to reach certain areas, and you'll need to do that for some of the puzzles. And it also slows time, and you'll definitely need to use that for certain puzzles as well. So I liked how the puzzles were made in this game. I don't want to spoil the puzzles, so I won't say much more, other than, yeah, the the teleporting does come in handy, and the stop time feature does come in handy for some of the sections of this game. The game took me about 5 hours to finish, but I think maybe at least 30 minutes of that was because of errors, maybe an hour. Let me talk about some of those errors. The biggest one is the load screen error. So basically when you finish a level, you're going to get a loading screen when you're going up the elevator, and sometimes for whatever reason it would just hang there. It just would not progress. So you end up waiting there, however long you're patient, a few minutes, and you figure out, okay, this level is not going to load. So you have to quit, go to main menu, and then your progress is completely gone for that level. So you have to start at the beginning of the level, and that can be very annoying. I know I had to restart at least 2 times because of this loading level, and yeah, I was frustrated by that. Couple of other errors is there's these passcodes for these elevators where you have to pick the right colors to open the door for the elevator, and for one of them it didn't spawn, and I know it didn't spawn because I had to look it up online, look at a YouTube playthrough for that, and then I saw where the passcode was, and I know I had just looked in there, and it's very obvious. It's not even something that's hidden very well. It's just there in plain sight, and for whatever reason it didn't load, but a quick restart fixed that issue. I think there was another issue similar to that, but I'm going to end the review now. I do recommend this game. It's one of the best games, but without if you can get past the bugs and whatnot. I'm Fast Lawyer. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.